Many brave women have shared their feelings, but one moment recently has left royal followers across the world completely stunned. Queen Camilla has reportedly shown an outburst of anger, and the reason behind it is surprising. The incident involves young Princess Charlotte, who wore one of the most iconic jewels connected to the late Princess Diana, her dazzling and unforgettable tiara. The sight of Charlotte wearing it has sparked curiosity and questions. Why did Camilla react so strongly? Was it jealousy? Was it because Diana's memory seemed to shine through Charlotte? Or was it frustration that had been building inside her for many years? To understand this, we need to look back at the story of Princess Diana's tiara. This sparkling crown, covered in diamonds, wasn't just a piece of royal jewelry. It once belonged to Diana, a woman still loved by millions across the globe. She was more than just a royal figure. She was known as the people's princess because of her kindness, warmth, and humility. Wherever she went, she made people feel special, noticed, and cared for. Her gentle smile and graceful personality made her unforgettable. Among the many jewels she wore, this tiara stood out as one of her most cherished. It looked like something from a fairy tale and carried with it a sense of magic whenever Diana placed it on her head. She wore it at royal dinners, official events, and most memorably on the day of her wedding to Prince Charles. Whenever she wore it, people didn't just admire the diamonds, they admired Diana herself. Her presence made the jewel sparkle even more. After Diana's sudden and heartbreaking death, her belongings became more than material treasures. They were symbols of her life, her spirit, and her connection to those who loved her. These items were carefully preserved, and some were passed on to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, so that a part of her would always remain with them. As time passed, those treasures began to be shared with the younger generation of royals. This is why Princess Charlotte wearing her grandmother's tiara became such an emotional moment. It was not simply a child dressing up in jewelry. It was a gesture filled with meaning. It was a way of honoring Diana, reminding the world that her legacy is still alive within the royal family. Many people who saw Charlotte in the tiara felt a wave of nostalgia and admiration. It touched hearts and brought back the memory of the beloved princess who left too soon. But while the moment warmed the hearts of millions, it also stirred complicated emotions inside the palace. For some, it wasn't easy to see Diana's memory glowing so brightly again. And for Queen Camilla, who had a long and difficult history with Diana, the sight was especially powerful. The relationship between Camilla and Diana was never smooth. It was marked by tension, pain, and scandals that unfolded in front of the entire world. For Camilla, seeing Diana's granddaughter carry forward her legacy in such a visible and beautiful way may have felt like history echoing back at her. Many years ago, when Prince Charles was still married to Princess Diana, people often blamed Camilla for the troubles in their marriage. She was seen as the other woman, in a royal love triangle that captured the world's attention. Even though decades have passed since then, that image of Camilla has never completely gone away. Today she is Queen Camilla. She walks proudly beside King Charles at official royal events. She wears a crown of her own, and she has taken on many responsibilities, especially now that the king has been facing health challenges. But no matter how much she does for the monarchy, there is one truth she cannot escape. Camilla knows she will never replace Diana in the hearts of the people. Princess Diana remains unforgettable. People still talk about her kindness, her beauty, and her ability to light up any room she entered. Her photographs are treasured, her memory is celebrated, and her spirit feels as alive today as it did when she was here. For Queen Camilla, this has always been difficult. It is as though no matter how far she rises, she is still living in Diana's shadow. One day, Queen Camilla walked into a room and saw young Princess Charlotte wearing a sparkling tiara that once belonged to Diana. For most people, it was a lovely and heartwarming moment, a little girl honoring her grandmother's legacy. But for Camilla, it meant something far deeper. That tiara was not just jewelry. It was a powerful symbol, proof that Diana's presence still lived on through the next generation. Camilla may have tried to smile, but inside she felt a wave of emotions she had locked away for years. Suddenly they all came rushing back. Perhaps she felt invisible. Perhaps she realized that no matter how hard she tried, she would always come second to Diana. In that moment, she could no longer keep her feelings hidden. The pain, the jealousy, and the sadness she had buried deep inside finally spilled out. That single moment showed just how heavy the burden has been for her, and how much Diana's memory still influences every corner of royal life today. Princess Charlotte, meanwhile, may be very young, but she already carries a level of importance that children her age rarely face. At only a few years old, she has captured the hearts of millions. Her radiant smile, natural confidence, and graceful presence remind many people of her grandmother, Princess Diana. When Charlotte wore Diana's tiara, that connection became even stronger. It wasn't just about the way the tiara sparkled on her head. It was about the feeling she gave to everyone around her. There is something in Charlotte's charm that feels familiar, a kindness and warmth that echoes Diana's spirit. Diana was loved for her ability to connect with people, to make them feel seen and valued, and Charlotte seems to have inherited that very same gift. When she smiles, it brightens the whole room. When she speaks, her gentle but steady voice draws people in. This is why Charlotte wearing Diana's tiara was so much more than a little girl playing dress-up. It was a powerful reminder that Diana's legacy is not gone. It continues to live on through her granddaughter, and for many people, that was a deeply emotional and unforgettable moment. It almost felt as though Diana's spirit had returned, but in a fresh and modern way through young Princess Charlotte. For the public, it was a deeply emotional reminder of Diana's lasting influence. Charlotte is the future of the royal family, and in that moment, she was carrying forward the legacy of one of the most loved figures in history. People around the world saw it as a heartfelt tribute, a sweet connection between grandmother and granddaughter. But for Queen Camilla, the moment may have carried a very different meaning. To her, it wasn't just about a little girl wearing a tiara. It was about the royal spotlight shifting once again. Diana's memory, still adored by the public even decades later, had never truly left the stage. And now, Charlotte, representing a new generation, was wearing the tiara, a glittering symbol of Diana's lasting legacy and perhaps even a hint of what the future might hold. For Camilla, it may have felt as though her place within the royal family was once again being overshadowed by Diana's presence. No matter how many duties she took on or how much she tried to be accepted, Diana's light still shone brighter in the hearts of the people. And now, Charlotte stood right at the center of that affection. When Queen Camilla lost her temper, the reaction inside the palace was immediate. The outburst stunned not only those who were present but also rippled through the entire royal household. Many staff members admitted they had never seen her behave in such a way before. Camilla, usually calm and composed in public, suddenly seemed like a completely different person. Her voice rose sharply, and she demanded to know why Princess Charlotte had been allowed to wear the tiara without her knowledge or permission. Witnesses described the atmosphere as tense and heavy, as though her anger itself had filled the room. One source even recalled the shocking moment she stormed out, slamming the door so hard that silence fell like a blanket across the space. The cheerful and warm energy that had been present moments before disappeared instantly. Staff who had been laughing or speaking softly just moments earlier now looked around nervously, unsure of how to react. Some avoided speaking about the scene at all, afraid their words might somehow reach the Queen's ears. The outburst left a chill in the palace that was difficult to shake off. Later that day, Camilla went on with her scheduled duties. She traveled to Swindon to meet workers and volunteers at Jenny's house, a domestic violence support center celebrating its 50th anniversary. To outsiders, it may have seemed like business as usual, but those who had witnessed her reaction earlier knew something was different. What had started as an ordinary day inside the palace had been overshadowed by a display of raw emotion that no one had expected from the Queen. Those close to her suggested that she felt disrespected, that as Queen, she should have been consulted before Charlotte wore such an important piece of royal jewelry. But others believed the reason was far more personal. Perhaps jealousy had played a role, the sight of a young princess wearing something so closely tied to Diana bringing back feelings she had long tried to bury. Whatever the reason, her anger left a lasting impression. And before long, the story had leaked beyond palace walls. When the news reached the public, it caused an even greater storm. What had begun as a private family matter quickly turned into a global spectacle. Social media exploded with reactions, and people all over the world formed strong opinions. Many rushed to defend Princess Charlotte. They felt she had every right to honor her late grandmother by wearing the tiara, a piece so deeply connected to Diana's memory. Diana was adored worldwide, and Charlotte's gesture seemed like a beautiful way to keep her spirit alive. Fans also couldn't ignore how much Charlotte resembled her grandmother. When she wore the tiara, it wasn't only about the jewelry. It was as if Diana's essence shone through her granddaughter. On social platforms, comments poured in with people writing things like, "Charlotte looks just like Diana, it was so beautiful," and "Seeing Charlotte wear that tiara brought back so many memories of Diana." For many, it was a touching and emotional moment. But for Queen Camilla, it was a reminder that no matter how much time passes, Diana's presence in the royal family is something that can never truly be replaced. Some people, however, defended Queen Camilla. They argued that since she is the current queen, she deserved more respect and authority in royal matters. In their view, Camilla should have been the one to decide who could wear certain pieces of royal jewelry, especially something as significant as a tiara once worn by Diana. To them, it wasn't just about Charlotte. It was about respecting the Queen's position and the rules of the monarchy. Back in Britain, King Charles III addressed the matter indirectly during his speech at the official opening of the new session of Parliament. While he did not mention the tiara incident directly, both he and his advisors emphasized that items from the royal collection are part of the nation's history and should always be handled with respect. This subtle remark reminded the public that such jewelry is more than decoration. It is a part of Britain's heritage, tied to the monarchy itself. No matter which side people supported, one thing was undeniable. Princess Diana's memory was once again at the center of the world's attention. Decades after her passing, her influence remained powerful. From newspapers to international magazines, the story made headlines. Questions filled the media. Is the royal family still divided? And is Queen Camilla forever destined to live in Diana's shadow? What began as a private family conflict had now exploded into a global debate. Everyone had an opinion and people could not stop talking about it. In the middle of all this, the public turned their eyes to Prince William and Princess Kate. How would they react to such drama, especially when their daughter, Charlotte, was at the center of it all? Surprisingly, William and Kate chose a path of silence. They made no official statements and stayed away from the growing media storm. For many observers, their quiet approach spoke louder than words. It wasn't that they were ignoring the situation. They were making a clear choice not to add fuel to the fire. Behind closed doors, however, sources revealed that both William and Kate fully supported Charlotte's decision to wear Diana's tiara. They saw it as a meaningful way for their daughter to honor her late grandmother. For William, the moment was especially emotional. As Diana's eldest son, he has carried her memory with him throughout his life, and seeing Charlotte wear the tiara was a touching reminder that his mother's legacy lived on in his children. For Kate, the sight of Charlotte in Diana's tiara carried another layer of meaning. As a mother, she felt immense pride in watching her daughter continue such an important family tradition. To her, it wasn't just about a piece of jewelry. It was about teaching Charlotte the importance of family, history, and the strong women who came before her. Even though Kate had never met Diana personally, she had always admired the late princess and respected the role she played in shaping the royal family. Watching her daughter carry forward that legacy filled her with a deep sense of honor. Kate has always been known for her calm and graceful nature, and in this situation, she once again showed her wisdom by remaining composed. She wanted Charlotte and her other children to grow up understanding not only their royal responsibilities but also the values Diana had lived by. Kindness, compassion, and the ability to connect with people on a human level. Meanwhile, in the middle of all this public debate, Kate made her first appearance since her cancer diagnosis. In a newly released video, she appeared poised and graceful as ever, showing both strength and warmth. Her appearance reminded the public that, beyond the royal drama, she continues to embody the dignity and resilience expected of a future queen. The video showed Princess Kate arriving at Buckingham Palace with her children for the Trooping of the Colour, a grand celebration of King Charles's birthday. She walked with calm pride, clearly showing her support for her daughter Charlotte. Prince William, however, took a quieter and more cautious approach. As Diana's son, he understood better than anyone how delicate family issues could become when exposed to the eyes of the world. He had lived through the painful years of his parents' marriage troubles and remembered how the media tore apart every detail, forcing the public to take sides. That experience taught him how dangerous it could be to let private struggles turn into public battles. Because of this, William decided to remain silent on the matter of the tiara. He knew that speaking out would only add more fuel to an already burning fire. His silence was not weakness. It was a carefully thought-out decision. As the future king, he carried the responsibility of protecting both his family's image and their peace. For him, avoiding the drama was the best way to shield his wife and children from unnecessary stress. Though William and Kate did not release official statements or respond to the debate, people close to the couple knew the truth. They fully supported Charlotte wearing the tiara and honoring the memory of her grandmother Diana. For them, this wasn't about politics, appearances, or even the crown itself. It was about family, keeping Diana's memory alive for the next generation and allowing their daughter to feel connected to the grandmother she would never meet. William and Kate also understood something important. Sometimes silence can be more powerful than words. By refusing to get caught up in the noise of public arguments, they showed calm strength. While others argued, speculated, and debated, William and Kate chose the high road. They focused on what mattered most: their children and the future of the royal family. Their quiet response revealed maturity, discipline, and wisdom that many around the world admired deeply. Recently, Princess Kate opened up to the public about her personal health battle. She revealed that she had undergone cancer treatment and had successfully completed chemotherapy. Despite her struggles, she carried herself with dignity and grace, earning even greater respect and admiration from the public. Her resilience reminded everyone that behind the royal titles were real people facing challenges just like anyone else. At first glance, the moment of Charlotte wearing a tiara might seem small. After all, tiaras are a regular part of royal life, and Charlotte, as a young princess, will surely wear many more in the future. But in the British monarchy, nothing is ever truly small. Every appearance, every gesture, and every decision is filled with meaning, closely watched by millions across the globe. When Charlotte wore the tiara once belonging to Princess Diana, it became more than just a fashion choice. It turned into a moment full of symbolism, emotion, and history. It was a reminder of Diana's everlasting influence, a tribute from one generation to another, and a signal of the legacy that continues to shape the royal family today. For many people, the sight of Princess Charlotte wearing Diana's tiara felt like a moment filled with history and emotion. It was as if a piece of Diana's legacy had been passed down to the younger generation, a gesture that touched millions of hearts. Diana, who had captured the love of the world with her kindness, warmth, and grace, continues to be remembered as one of the most cherished figures in royal history. Now, through her granddaughter Charlotte, a part of that history was alive again, shining brightly for all to see. But for Queen Camilla, this moment was far from simple. Her reaction, marked by anger and frustration, made it clear that the wounds of the past have not fully healed, even after so many years. The complicated history between Diana and Camilla is no secret, and while some of her feelings may be understandable, it is also evident that those emotions are not locked away in the past. They are still present, still powerful, and still influencing her today. Camilla's strong reaction to Charlotte wearing Diana's tiara was more than just about jewelry. It served as a reminder that Diana's memory still casts a long shadow over the royal family. No matter how much Camilla tries to step into her role as queen, the love and admiration the world continues to hold for Diana is something she can never fully escape. At the same time, as the younger royals like Charlotte continue to grow, Diana's memory will keep finding new life through them. Charlotte, with her bright smile and natural charm, has already captured the hearts of many. Together with her brothers and cousins, she represents the new future of the monarchy, a future that carries the values and legacy of the past, while also moving forward into a new era. What do you think about Queen Camilla's shocking reaction to Princess Charlotte wearing Princess Diana's tiara? Do you believe it was simply about protocol, or does it reveal deeper emotions tied to Diana's memory? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal updates.